Hey everyone, this is Jebro, and today we're going to go through the grenade kit. So I said I was going to do all the kits and all the abilities for the engineer, and slowly getting through them at the moment. And now we've got the grenade kit. Now, a grenade kit's not that difficult to understand if you're a new player or if you're an old player, but you may not have been using it in the way you thought you should have been, or you just thinking, oh, how can I be not better with grenades, but what can I do to make sure that I'm maybe using them effectively, or you've actually just not really realized exactly what they do, which there is nothing wrong with that. This video is for anyone. It's for new players, it's for old players, it's for people just reminding themselves, or people that just want to have a look. So, grenade kit. Now, there is different ways to empower your grenade kit through the traits, which is what I kind of said through the bomb video as well. Now, if you're going to use grenades, I would basically say you should use explosives. Now, this is as of the October of 2015, so this could change in the future. When that does, then I'll make an updated video. But basically, there's a few traits in a few lines where I think you should be running maybe, or if you should maybe consider running. Mainly explosives. Firearms doesn't get used much in PvP, but it does get used in PvE, for example. So, main traits to here really that are quite important for explosive line if you're using bombs, or if you're using grenades, or even like mortar kit to a degree now as well, which I'll explain another day, is Grenadier. So you increase the throw velocity and blast radius of grenades, which means you've got a wider area to hit, and you're going to throw them faster. There's a big difference between having this trait and not having this trait. So if I throw these grenades, so if you're at range, say I'm here, you can see how fast I throw them with the trait up. If I don't have the trait up, then you can see how fast they go as well. A lot slower if you do not have that trait up, which means that it's easier for them to tell whether or not you're throwing grenades. It's easier for them to dodge them, especially if you're up close and personal. You want them to be as fast applying as possible rather than being slow and something that you can't really get off as often. So if you're going to use naked, I would seriously say use Grenadier. That's the best thing for you to use. So as you can tell, it's going to be more useful if you're in Grenadier, which is what I said before. Now, this has changed from the old one. It used to throw more grenades, it used to add other stuff and range, but now it's just velocity and radius increase, which is still very, very important and very, very useful. So we're going to go through the grenade kit as well in a moment, but another thing which is important is steel packed powder. Now, explosions causing vulnerability is very, very good indeed, and I'll show you that as we go through this build, and it'll start to, be kind of obvious why that's very important. In firearms, there's a really nice trait called incendiary powder. So burning you apply lasts longer, and your critical hits inflict burning. So if you got some crit as well, your nades are empowered as well if you get a crit, exactly. So again, something else which is very, very useful for your build. You don't have to run this. This isn't something you need to run, but it does adds that extra dot damage. So if you're in PvE, it's something you'll probably most likely definitely use. But PvP less so, because you're going for more survivability and more other traits such as trait lines such as tools, where you can get some swiftness, or you can get some extra toolkit and also tool belt usage. So really, with grenades, okay, so we're going to go through this now. First ability, pretty standard, pretty easy. You throw 3 grenades, you do damage, and you can see the explosion radius there has been improved. So I said before in the last video, if you're not sure, if it's in blue, that's something that's been augmented by your traits, or by somehow in your build. So the damage increase there. You've got vulnerability. That isn't something which comes with this. It's actually been added through that minor trait there, the steel packed powder, of course. So we're going to add vulnerability, and we are going to maybe get even a burning proc off with that incendiary powder as well. So let's throw some grenades and see what happens. So there we go. We got 2 hits. We got some hits there. We got crits as well. We got 2 stacks of burning, and we got vulnerability stacks as well. So we got 3 there. So that was pretty good stuff. Pretty basic. There's nothing really else you can say other than this is not condition damage orientated. This is power damage orientated. So grenades are good with like condition builds and also power builds. So I'm running Celestial again because I'm just running this as a standard. So it's a mix of power and also condition damage. but also I've got other stats there, so it's not, you know, massively overpowered or anything, and it shows you an even amount of stat for each one, of course, because it's 560 for everything. So that's why I'm using that amulet. But next we're going to go to the second ability. Now this does a lot of damage as well. We are going to stand closer so you can see the maximum amount of damage you can really pull off with, you know, you haven't got any might or anything or any other boons. So, you know, this is just base off of your stats that they are at present. So you cause bleeding, you throw 3 grenades, and it's 3 targets. So let's throw these grenades to see what happens. So we got 3 stacks of bleeding and we got 3 stacks of vulnerability there. So not too bad. You can see all 3 hitting, so you know that's going to be the case. And, you know, the vulnerability really, really nicely stacks. The nades, when you're throwing these in conjunction with, you know, your rotation of abilities, you pull off a lot of vulnerability stacking. Even if you just get, you know, 3 grenades hits off with your first ability or with your other grenades, you know, you're going to be at least stacking vulnerability consistently, which is very, very important as well, especially if you're in Celestial, because you need that extra vuln to actually do more damage, which is very good. Now, if you're not sure what vulnerability is, there you can see it is plus 1% incoming damage, 1% incoming condition damage as well. So, you know, pretty worth it. I mean, you can build that up, and that's a lot of extra damage over time if you've built that up to like 20 or so stacks, which is always very nice. Okay, so let's go through the rest of these. Now, flash grenade does no damage really, to be honest. You're not throwing this for the actual damage itself, but you're throwing it to actually get some blinds off. So you can see blindness 5 seconds, next outgoing attack misses, you throw 3 grenades, and, you know, 180 radius as well. So very good, very low damage like I said, but actually we got a crit off that, so we did burning. So incendiary powder, you know, again, another reason, if you can get that blind off, which is considerable, then you're going to be able to actually get some nice burning off there. We'll throw it again and I'll explain something else about this. Now you can see the blind there is 15 seconds. It doesn't go up in stacks, it goes up in duration. So we got 3 hits off there with our grenades, as you can see, so 3 grenades, and we got 15 seconds. So it's 5 seconds per nade and it just stacked up. Simple. They can remove that. It'd be a bit OP if you kind of had 3 attacks missed, but, you know, duration, that's pretty good as well. So they can't wait for it to go off. They have to actually, you know, remove the condition or hit something or try and hit something. They'll just use a normal ability though, to be honest. But sometimes people forget that they have blind on them. It's very good in case you're getting, you know, it's kind of good for your utility for survival, really, especially if you're trying to get away or if you're on point and you notice that they've got a high damage ability incoming. It's really, really useful. But yes, not much damage. But like I said, if you're with like incendiary powder, for example, and also, you know, even just at least steel pad powder, you put in vulnerability, or you're actually putting on bleeding there as well, which is very, very useful. And of course, if you've got sharpshooter, which is another one which you get crit for in firearms, then you get the bleeding. So that's very useful as well. So let's go over the 4th skill, freeze grenade. Now, freeze grenade is pretty, you know, chill in Guild Wars 2, in my opinion, is kind of underrated. Just because, look, I mean, let's have a look at exactly what chill does. So it's like minus 66% skill recharge rate, minus 66% movement speed. And that's pretty good. That's, again, 5 targets. Not again 5 targets because some of them are in 3. That's 3 grenades and a range of 180 there. So let's just quickly have a look at that, see what exactly that does, what we get out of it. We get 3 stacks of vulnerability and we get the chill as well. So again, something really, really useful to have in terms of, you know, stopping that recharge rate, especially if you know that they've used a big ability, stopping that recharge rate and actually slowing their movement speed, especially if they're trying to get away and you want to spam on them. If it's less likely than they are able to get out of your range of your grenades or your other abilities as well. So chill, very useful skill ability to have indeed. And then finally, on the utility, on the kit itself, we have poison grenade. So throw several poison grenades that explode in poisonous blasts. So you can see there's power damage there, and you can see the condition damage there as well. But the minus 33% heal effectiveness as well is on themselves. So if they've got that heal, or if they're downed actually as well. So if an opponent's down and you're trying to heal them, using poison will decrease that amount of heal by 33%, and that's very, very strong. Anytime in PvP, when you are trying to down an opponent, poison is extremely important to put down on that body. Cleave it up, poison everything you can around that corpse, and it's going to be very effective for the team's survival that are trying to get that res. It's very, very useful indeed. So, poison, a big bloody thumbs up from me. So let's stick that poison down, see what we get out of that. 3 stacks of poison, 3 stacks of vulnerability. You can see the poison damage sticking away. It's not a massive amount of damage, mainly as well because of that minus 33% heal effectiveness, which we talked about. It would be massively overpowered if poison was ridiculous, and the fact that you couldn't heal up as fast as well. So, that is the grenade kit pretty much. We are just going to quickly destroy this one. You can see it's pretty nice damage coming from that in combination with firearms. Unfortunately, it's not very viable at present in PvP. You can still run it. It's just in terms of, like a competitive end game. But, you can use this pretty well in this build. And I wouldn't use, don't look at the rest of these because that's just what I've got at the moment. I'm just playing around. So, the final ability really we're going to talk about is going to be Grenade Barrage. Now, Grenade Barrage is pretty damn good. Let's have a look at it. A number of grenades, 6. Number of targets, 5, of course. Vulnerability as well. Now that's a stack of grenade. If you hit all your grenades, you're going to get 6 stacks of vulnerability and loads of damage. But then empowered with incendiary powder and also empowered with sharpshooter, with the build I have here, not saying that you have to run this line, but I would at least run the explosives line, remember, when you're running Grenadier. If you can land this, you're going to do a lot of damage. So let's see how much we get just with this build we've got up here. So you can see the amount of power damage we hit there. 6 stacks there as well of vulnerability, as well as the extra burning. Now that's almost, that's a third of his HP bar there, right there as well. That's not with any boons, that's with nothing else at all. Alright, you're not always going to be able to hit everything off. You might not hit that every time, but that's just showing you how vital this actual ability is. Now if you've got something like flamethrower as well, you can add incendiary ammo to this stack and you can get a ton more burning. Of course we are getting burning from crits already anyway. So let's just use that and we'll do it again. 8 stacks of burning there. Again, 6 stacks of vulnerability. But that's considerably more damage. Just adding that incendiary powder tool belt skill with the flamethrower. So another fine and awesome example of how you can really, this is why I like Guild Wars 2, the fact that you are able to augment a lot of your abilities with different traits, with different stats, with from sigils and whatnot as well, from different runes, just even being in a team, So that's pretty much the grenade kit. I mean, there's not really much else I can tell you about it other than the fact that, there's a few special things about grenades. If you're facing away from your target, say, and you're running away, then obviously, you're going to be able to actually run away and throw grenades at the same time. So if we run away here and you're just having a look back, you can turn around and then you can actually throw your grenades. So you can throw them from, there's no limit to how you can throw these. You can just throw them anywhere. Woo! Turn around, have a spinny, go outside, do your washing. It's brilliant. Love it. So you can really use them effectively. So if someone's trying to chase you as well, you can actually do damage from while you're trying to run away. You can even, you can chill them. So if you say your opponent is chasing after you, you're really low on damage, and you're in a bit of trouble, you can turn around, you can just, spam your chill grenades as well. Do some nice damage, slow them down, slow their recharge rate of their abilities, just in case they've used anything to try and catch you up, and you're away. It's really, really, really useful. Poison grenade was changed. It used to have a field on the ground when you put them down. They don't anymore. So yeah, you can't combo that up. So there's no fields available from grenades like there were from bombs. But still, pretty useful, pretty awesome kit. It's really, really strong. It's used a lot in PvP and PvE at the moment as well. So yeah, it's an important one, but there isn't really much to it other than what I said, to be honest. So yeah, thanks very much for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon.